The wind howls, the church bell tolls, and in the distance, something dark, something gothic brews. You know what that is? It's this latest album I'm reviewing. Oh yeah, doo-doo. What's up everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazable coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for coming on by. I always appreciate it. Today I am checking out the latest release from Cradle of Filth with their latest album called The Screaming of Valkyries. If you don't know anything about this band, Cradle of Filth is I would say, black metal, gothic metal, death metal band that is based out of Suffolk, England, and have been a band since about 1990, 1991, around that time. So was it 90s, 30, almost 40 years now. They've been going at it. I'm really surprised. And I kind of first came across them in middle school when a bunch of my friends were listening to them. I was getting into like Slipknot, Korn, that kind of stuff. And I saw Cradle of Filth's imagery, especially with Dani Filth with his corpse paint and like the whole symphonic element and the Gothic look. I was thinking in my head, whoa, that's too extreme for me. I'll stick to Korn. But now as I've gotten older, I'm willing to like explore more bands, get into more stuff. And I've always dabbled a little with them, like a few songs as I got older, but now I'm really like trying to like really get into them. So I'm excited to really talk about this latest album, The Screaming of Valkyries. Even though this is like my first time ever fully listening to Cradle of Filth, something about this latest record they have here kind of like dabbles between, you know, both sounding very familiar while also very fresh, if that makes sense. It's a fusion of like ambitious black metal elements, symphonic flourishes, and surprisingly, very accessible groovy sections. It's quite moody, aggressive, and quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Entrancing. Doing a really good job of, you know, balancing out very chaotic, very heavy elements with a very sense of like clear, crisp clarity that I think will catch like a lot of longtime listeners off guard a little bit. I mean, when I was listening to it, I was kind of caught off on guard because I didn't expect them to be to have so many clear and very groovy moments on this record. And with the opening song here being To Live Deliciously, I think I'm saying that correctly, with my first time really experiencing this band, it has a very, very demonic choir to it that I feel like is, you know, very up Cradle of Filth's alley, while also having some blitzing, fast, catchy riffs that really like surprised me. Dani Filth's vocals here are very crisp and quite intelligible, even though, you know, he has a very devilish presence here. And this might be my first experience for it, but I feel like he's quite clear. They've been doing it for so long. You would think by now his vocals will be quite fried and like burnt out, but he sounds pretty like locked in. And across this whole record, the production feels very polished, yet very, very powerful. Guitar work never really gets buried, and the drum work here, you know, especially the snappy drum patterns and the tight drum rolls, they feel extremely precise and very punchy. They've got a good weight to them. And I think it's really present on some of the tracks, like I think it's called Demonography and Ex Sanguia Dracula. Again, if I'm messing up these names, my bad. The drums here have a bit of like a slower, denser feel, creating like a very like dark and heavy atmosphere, while using very calculated riffs that have a very deep chug to them that, you know, build a sense of dread as you listen to these songs. And I really like the use of clean female vocals throughout the whole record. It really gives it a very grand and very ominous feel to it, particularly on the songs White Hellbore and Non Amoris More. I think these are Latin words, so I'm trying my best, homies. And at some points on this record, those female vocals kind of outshine Dani Filth's vocals because they offer a very ghostly counterpart to those hellish vocals he's giving, and it really helps elevate the whole like feel of the songs and just adds a lot of drama in a cool way. And I think the band did a really good job of experimenting with their sound a little bit, especially on the song Malignant Perfection, which has a very strange gothic new wave feel to it with very eerie synths and a very low mixed instrumental background. Like, it was kind of an interesting playoff they did here. It's very reminiscent of, you know, Danny Elfman, the guy who did Nightmare Before Christmas and does a lot of work with Tim Burton. Something about the way that some way that the band mixed and played with their sound here, it has that Danny Elfman-esque feel to it, but with a little bit of like a Cradle of Filth undeniable bite to it. And I like these moments on the album because it gives the album a nice sonic risk so the album doesn't feel too repetitive and it doesn't really stray too off from the overall vibe of the album. It's just enough like of a difference to help keep things refreshing and keep you engaged while you listen. I will say not every riff on this album, in certain sections, and especially on the songs White Hellbore and When Misery Was a Stranger, they do feel a little bit underdeveloped and slightly disjointed. The overall pacing of the album is very impressive. It's just these few moments on these songs where the guitars feel a little bit wonky. And speaking of pacing, the ebb and flow of the album, you know, going between thrashy speed, doomy crawl moments, and very theatrical gothic moments really keeps you engaged throughout the whole album. One consistent strength about this album, and I don't know if it's the band as a whole, but the choruses, they're catchy and they often have a very cinematic, climactic urgency. They really know how to build up to these really cool choruses. While the bass sometimes kind of gets lost and buried in the mix, but when it does punch, like on the songs Malignant Perfection and Ex Sanguia Dracula, again, Latin, it adds a serious weight to the songs. So this latest album from Cradle of Filth, The Screaming of Valkyries, I feel like it is a band that is sharpening, well, the album is helping the band sharpen their sound and just really become more grand and grounded at the same time while pushing almost 40 plus years of being a band. Well, not 40, but 90s, 2000, yeah, 30 plus years. So the fact that they can still put out really good music like this at this time, very impressive. Now, is it a flawless record? No, not at all. But the attention to atmosphere, dynamic vocals, and just strong pacing makes it like a very compelling album to listen to in the gothic black metal world. So the veterans, Cradle of Filth, this latest album, The Screaming of Valkyries, I would have to give it a good and decent 8 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this album. What is your favorite Cradle of Filth song, album? Let me know. Let's talk. Let's discuss down below. And like always, see you in the pit.